It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, 2 outstanding elementary schools here vying for the chance to take on Adelphi and move even farther in our competition. Let's meet the schools right now. First from Carole Highlands, making one of their only appearances in our 28 years, we welcome first Louis Perla, Shamar Lewis, and David Romero. And from Dodge Park Elementary, here they are, Jamal Alexander, Stephen Menjivar, and Sarai Perez. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points, no penalties ever for incorrect answers. End of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 outstanding teams will come back to play Adelphi for the chance to move on to take on Bond Mill in the semifinals. Let's make sure everything worked properly. Let's go to the red team. Shamar, would you try your buzzer? Thank you. Good luck to you. Seems to be working fine. To you, David and Lewis. Steve, would you try yours? Green one looks and sounds good. Good luck to you, Sarai and Jamal. Are we ready? Let's do this thing. Congratulations on being here representing your schools. Let's have a good game. Alphabetically, C before D. So Carole Highlands, Shamar, let's play the bowl.
Dateline Science for 5.
Dateline Science for 5 points. Teams, your questions as follows. Oceanographer Robert Ballard is best known for discovering this famous ship underneath the Atlantic Ocean. Dodge Park.
Titanic.
The Titanic, you betcha. He raised the Titanic. He didn't raise it, but he certainly could have with all of the information and artifacts he brought up. Go, Steve.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Boy, poor Pinocchio. Every time he lied, his nose got bigger. And then he went to Pleasure Island. And he fooled around, and he morphed into what kind of stubborn equine? He turned into a donkey. All the little boys turned into donkeys, stubborn equines. Let's turn out the red button and go back to, who was the last correct answer? Was it Steve? Steve. So it should be the green light on here. Stephen, please.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, there is a beautiful flowering plant called Madiba protea that is named for what late president of South Africa? Dodge Park.
Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela. Madiba was his affectionate name. Go green.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, a dentist didn't come up with this phrase, but he or she could have. Put your money where your what is, Dodge Park?
Mouth.
Your mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is. And, of course, if you've ever been to a dentist and needed major work, you need a lot of money to keep that mouth looking good. David and Lewis, come on. You're not helping out here. Help Shamar. Give him a nudge. Listen to what I'm saying. Go green.
Science Potpourri for 10.
Science Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, it's been discovered that elephants and whales and some dolphins and even chimpanzees can recognize themselves in one of these, even if it won't tell them if they are the fairest of them all. Shamar.
Mirror.
A mirror. Mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Most animals, they look in a mirror, they don't know that it's them, but certain animals, like I told you, elephants and chimps among others, they can. Okay, you're on the board. Go red.
Let's get physical for 10.
Get physical for 10 points. Teams, Here on Earth during the winter it snows, as we know, but the snow here is made of water. When it snows on Mars, the snow is made of this gas that we associate... Shamar.
Carbon dioxide.
Yes, indeed. Carbon dioxide. Thank you, Lewis. You knew that one cold. Carbon dioxide snow on Mars. Yes, sir. Good. Go.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points, teams. That zebra that bit the zookeeper at National Zoo recently, not only that bite was bad because not only did the zebra have incisor teeth like all herbivores do, but what other kinds of teeth that carnivores have were also in that zebra mouth. Steve. What you want to tell me? All right. Carole Highlands, what kind of teeth that are normally found only in carnivores do zebras also have, which made that zebra bite so bad? Canine teeth. Canine teeth. Try again, Red. You're ahead by 5 points. Shamar?
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. All right, teams, here's your question. The Broadway show Wicked is the backstory of The Wizard of Oz. And in it, Dorothy sings a song about defying what force that would let her fly back to Kansas, Shamar?
Gravity.
Gravity, defying gravity. Yes, sir. Good. Go, Red.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, the fossilized resin of ancient trees is known by this A initial term, where some insects can be entombed for millions of years. What is that substance called that sometimes is turned into jewelry? That's amber, fossilized amber. Go again, please. Some of that was seen in the movie Jurassic Park. Try again, Red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, whether it tastes sweet or not, if a seed is surrounded by an ovary, makes no difference whether it's corn or wheat or apples or grapes or tomatoes, they're all called these. Dodge Park. Yes, sir.
I would like to pass it on to Jamal.
What do you want to say, Jamal?
Vegetables?
Not vegetables. Good try. Good try. Whether it tastes sweet or not, Carole Highlands, if a seed is surrounded by an ovary wall, whether it's an oat or a barley or a grape or a tomato or an apple, they're all considered what?
Fruits.
Fruits. That's it. Good. Go, Red. Ooh, the buzzer has rung. It's a close game, almost a tie score. Carole Highlands at 85, Dodge Park 65. We'll be back with the second round in a moment. Don't you go away.
Never look a howler monkey in the eye. We built the entire library out of recycled bottles. Fried ants are delicious.
We finished a clinic in a rainstorm.
Really? That was a confidence builder. My students actually ended up teaching me. So I learned this dance. I'll show you this dance.
In la keg, a la king.
The classroom was more of a class tent. I think managing a sales team is tough. Try working with 5 different villages. My alarm clock was a rooster. Beans for breakfast, beans for lunch, beans for dinner. We ate a lot of beans. I learned a 3rd language.
My seatmate on the bus was a goat.
Always include the village elders. Always. My morning commute was by canoe. After 2 months, I was ready to quit, but after 2 years, I didn't want to leave. I didn't know I had it in me.
Turn 2 years of service into a lifetime of experience. To all the Peace Corps volunteers, past, present, and future, thank you for your service to your country and the world.
With video games, I'm always choosing between what my kids want and what I think is best for them. How about this one? Which is why I love these new rating summaries. They let me know exactly what's in the game. Players shoot lasers from an arm cannon. Robot enemies explode and limbs fly off.
Maybe that other one's better.
Yeah. Get your free game rating summary today, and with it, the world's most powerful weapon, knowledge.
I always thought being a good mother meant raising my baby myself. But when I got pregnant, I realized I wasn't ready to be a parent. So I did something I thought I could never do. I chose adoption. It was really hard, but I know my baby is with a loving family and has a very bright future.
Sometimes choosing adoption is being a good mother. Visit us at iChooseAdoption.org.
Welcome back to Science. Well, so nice to have you here today. We've got nearly a dead heat because we've got 6 well-matched young people playing our game. Let's meet the first 3 of them. At the top of the show, I was saying this is almost an historic occasion. In many ways it is. In our 28 years, Carole Highlands Elementary School has been here just one time before, so welcome back. Shamar, tell us about Carole Highlands. Where in Prince George's County is it?
It's in Tacoma Park.
Tacoma Park, yes. I think it's right off New Hampshire Avenue there, isn't it?
Yes.
And tell me who your principal is.
Our principal is Miss Holden.
Miss Holden. I know she's a big supporter of science. And who are the sponsors of your team?
Miss Tuzo and Mr. Allen.
And they're both here today, and they've been working so hard, and we're so happy to have them here today. They'll be out in a few moments. And I think you had some alternates on your team, didn't you? Who were they?
Jalen, Rima, and Akene.
Wonderful. And they're out there, the shadow team, and they're going to be yelling answers from our green room, and I know how proud they are of you guys. Tell me a little bit about Carole Highlands. What's the best thing about Carole Highlands? The best thing?
The best thing about Carole Highlands is that the teachers, they care about the students. They have fun activities while they still help you learn.
Wow, yeah. So if you're not having fun there, and if the teachers don't really care, if you're not sensing that, it's really difficult to get enthused. But it sounds like it's a great place to be, Shamar. And someday you want to be a professional football player, is that right?
Basketball.
Basketball player, that's right, because you've been to the University of Maryland and seen some of those practices there. Yeah. Do you play basketball now?
Yes.
Wonderful. And I know you play football too, don't you?
Yeah.
What's the name of your team?
Hyattsville Hawks.
The Hyattsville Hawks, all right. David, nice to have you with us today. Tell us the David story. What do you do in your spare time?
On my spare time, I like to write.
What do you write?
I usually like to make up stories.
Yeah, so you write fiction. You write fiction then?
Mm-hmm.
And I know you told me you were interested in being a doctor and specifically a plastic surgeon, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and how did you were watching something on YouTube, was that right?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Good, nice to have you here today, David. And Louis, you knew that answer about astronomy. Are you interested in astronomy?
Yes.
Yeah, what else do you like?
I also like reading.
Reading? What kind of books do you like to read?
I like to read fiction.
Fiction, all right. Well, maybe David can write something for you, too, if he's into the fiction writing mode there. You all have on matching shirts there. What did they say, Shamar?
They say 2013-14 Science Bowl and a Science Bowl team.
Why? It's got the model of the atom on there. You guys look great. Who made those shirts for you?
Our sponsor, Miss Tuzo.
Wow, she really went all out. We appreciate that. And, thanks for modeling for us, Shamar. You did a nice job there. Let's go over to Dodge Park. And if these students, some of them look familiar, they should. They were here last year. Steve and Jamal, welcome back. And Sarai, nice to have you here for the first time. Steve, you're a 6th grader, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about Dodge Park. Principal. Who's principal?
The principal is Miss Holmes.
Wonderful, Miss Holmes. And Miss Barbour, I know, is the sponsor of your team. She was here last year. You guys did a super job last year. Miss Barbour has helped us judge as well, and I know she's so committed to Science Bowl. We appreciate that. She'll be out in a few moments. And Steve, you had some alternates as well, didn't you? Who were they?
Yeah, Pernell, Jonathan, and Laselli.
Wonderful. And we'll have them out. Your shadow team as well. I know that they work very hard to be part of this team. Tell me, I asked Shamar about Carole Highlands and some of the things that are important there and exciting. What do you like best about Dodge Park?
Well, Dodge Park, all the teachers are like they're fun. They're very strict on learning, and well, everybody's nice, and our school is like really, it's like compared to no other school.
Ah, I like that. An incomparable place. You wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Thank you, Steve, for that testimonial. I know your school appreciates that, too. Steve, what do you want to do someday?
I want to be a professional athlete.
Professional athlete. What sport?
Either football or soccer.
Football or soccer. I know you play soccer now. Is that right? Yeah. All right. You look like a soccer player. Scholar athlete over there. Sarai, good to have you here. First time. Why'd you want to be on the show?
Because I like science.
You like science. You're in the right place. What do you want to do someday?
I either want to be a lawyer of immigration or I want to be a forensic scientist.
Wonderful. Those are some very specific choices. Why a forensic scientist?
Well, for one, because they pay good, and and because it involves science, and science is my favorite subject.
Wonderful. And how about immigration, a lawyer? I mean, that probably pays well as well. Why that?
Because I know many people that come from the countries that they're from originally to come here to make a better life, and they're not allowed to, so I want to help them out.
Wonderful. And a very noble ambition. Nice to have you here. Fine young lady. Jamal, nice to have you back again. Why'd you want to come back? Did you have a good time last year?
Yes.
Wonderful. You did a nice job last year, too. And I know you're still deciding on what kind of a future you'd like. What do you like to do in your spare time?
Ride bikes.
Ride bikes. Do you wear your helmet?
No.
Thank you for being honest. I hope you will wear that helmet in the future. Even if you never crash, if you go under a tree, it will save you from getting a cut on your head or a bump on your head. Let's get back into the game. Dodge Park 65, Carole Highlands 85. Lots of points to give away. Shamar, start us out.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, 17th century Dutch scientists showed by using frogs that these work, that these are what make muscles work. What body parts help to make muscles work? Nerves. Nerves. Try again, please. Red.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade for 15 points. Teams, you can't take a saltwater fish and put it in a freshwater lake because what body organs will not be able to excrete all the extra water in the freshwater environment? What body organ in that fish? Come on, Steve.
Gills.
Not gills, I said body organ now. I guess a gill could be considered an organ. What body organ cannot excrete the extra water if you put a saltwater fish in a freshwater environment, Shamar? Kidneys. Kidneys. Excrete was supposed to be your key word there to tip it off. Go, Red.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, the ancient Greeks. Some of you might have heard the word Aristotle. He must have had hematology on his mind because he divided animals into two groups. Those that had what kind of liquid in their body and those that did not. What liquid do you find in a body? Shamar.
Blood.
Blood. Got it. Good. That's what hematology is, the study of blood. You're coming up with some good answers there. Go. Red.
Science potpourri for 5.
Science potpourri for?
5.
5 points, sure. All right, your question is as follows. There's a hit show on the Disney Channel that sounds like it's named for tiny little versions of the world's most famous scientist ever. It's called Little what, Steve?
Einstein.
Einsteins, Little Einsteins. That's a show. Good. Green, go.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points, teams. Babies that are jaundiced have a yellow color, a yellow sallow color to their skin. That's because there are too many toxic chemicals that have built up in what internal body organ that's the largest internal body organ. Let's see how well you know your anatomy. You can get yourself 20 points if you know. All right, Dodge Park. Name the organ. What do you want to tell me?
The lungs.
Not the lungs. Good try. All right, you can get yourself 20 points here. David, Shamar, and Lewis. Come on, David, let's talk. What's the largest internal body organ that's associated with jaundice, a yellow coloration? Come on, Shamar.
Liver.
Liver, that's it. Okay, we're cooking with gas now. Go green. Red.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. 2/3 of the world's plants have a fungus growing on their roots, but it's a good fungus. It's a symbiotic fungus. It gives the plants nutrients, elements like phosphorus. In return, the plant gives to the fungus what fuel that the plant makes during photosynthesis. What's the fuel that the plant makes? Come on, Green.
Oxygen?
No, not oxygen. What's the fuel that the plants make during photosynthesis? Good try, Dodge Park. Shamar.
Diesel.
Not diesel fuel. Someday maybe. Sugar. Sugar. It makes sugar and oxygen. Try again, Red.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems, 10 points. Teams, if you, boys too, go to the salon or the spa and get a mani and a pedi, you're getting a manicure and a pedicure to make what two body parts look more pretty? Shamar.
Your nails and, no, your hands and your feet.
Specifically where?
Your nails, your
That's right, your
fingernails.
nails on your hands and your feet, your fingernails and your toenails. Lewis and David, help him out with some of these words here, okay? Go, Shamar.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, mercury exists in nature as a liquid. It's a chemical that naturally exists as a liquid. But if conditions are right, it can change into what other two states of matter? Dodge Park.
Solid and a gas.
Solid and a gas. That's right. Good. All right. Thank you for your assist, Jamal. Go, Steve. Yes, sir?
Zuperade for 20.
Zuperade for 20. All right, teams, it's a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. Teams, some people call these sea monkeys. They're actually brine shrimp. And they belong to what C-initialed class of arthropods that are found mainly in the water.
Crustaceans.
Crustaceans. Nice answer, Steve. All right, go Dodge Park. We're closing that score up. It's 130 to 90. You're still down, Steve. Where next?
Zuperade for 25.
Zuperade for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, because so many blood-sucking insects like mosquitoes and black flies and ticks feed on reindeer and moose during the summer, those big animals sometimes suffer from one A-initial disease that comes when you lose too much blood. They become what? All right, Dodge Park, what's the A-initial condition where you're suffering from too little blood? Carole Highlands, do you know? Anemia. They become anemic. Try again, green. You're still 20 points down. Where, Steve?
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, there's a new book out called Why Can't I Get Better? It's the story of this disease, named for a town in Connecticut that is spread when you get bitten by a tick. What's the name of that disease? Shamar.
Lyme disease?
Yes, sir. I saw your light bulb go off over here. Yes, sir. Good. Go. Red.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, another visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio. This strange cartoon shows a man eating a bowl of soup, and a lot of things have to happen before he can pick up that spoon. Rube Goldberg, the cartoonist who did this, must have been a specialist in which of the 4 STEM subjects? He must have been a specialist in which of the 4 STEM subjects? Dodge Park.
Engineering.
Engineering, that's right. Science, technology, engineering, and math. Engineering it is. Thank you, Jamal, too, for your assist. Go, Steve.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, an extinct prehistoric woodpecker was recently given a scientific name. Scientific name is Australopithecus Nelson Mandeli. Australopithecus is the genus name. Nelson Mandeli is what name? The second part of the scientific name, the genus, and the what, Steve?
The species?
Yes, sir. The species name is Nelson Mandeli. Good. Go.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, the European Space Agency is going to try something no one's ever done before. It wants to land a space probe on one of these fast-moving celestial objects that looks like a dirty snowball. Steve.
A comet?
Comet, yeah, dirty snowball with a tail. Boy, that's like trying to hit a moving target from millions of miles away. Go green. Score 160, 155. Almost tied. Go green.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical, 20 points. Teams, you are safe in your car during an electrical storm if you do not touch the steering wheel, the door, or the radio dial, because all 3 of those places are very good at doing what to electricity?
They're very good at conducting with electricity.
Absolutely. They're all very good conductors. Thank you, Shamar. Good. Red, go.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, a multiple choice question. Teams, we know that the yolk in an egg provides the energy for a young animal. Just like this substance inside a seed provides the energy for a young plant. Is the stuff inside the seed known as an endosperm, an alveoli, or a meristem? The stuff inside the seed. Dodge Park.
A meristem?
Not the meristem. Is it the endosperm, the alveoli, or the meristem that provides the fuel inside of a seed for the young plant to begin its growth?
Endosperm?
Endosperm it is. Yes, good. Red, go.
Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline for 25. Big one in that category. Teams. The #1 science story last year was that some doctors have been able to customize cancer treatment by getting this body system to focus on the cancer cells. What body system is now being able to be customized to focus on fighting cancer cells? Name the body system for 25 points. Dodge Park. Yes, sir. Important question for you, Steve.
The respiratory system?
Not the respiratory system. Carole Highlands, what system?
Circulatory.
Good try. Immune system. The immune system was the right answer. Still, oh, the buzzer has rung. We had 3 questions left, but it looks like Carole Highlands has done it. We'll double check that score and be back with you in just a moment. Don't go away.
I knew I needed help paying for college. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I used to make worksheets for my friends to do. No one ever wanted to come over. My guidance counselor told me about federal student aid, and my mom helped me fill out the free application. I got the grants and loans that made school possible. There is a way to pay for school. You just have to find it. My name is Caitlin. I'm going to be a special education teacher. I'm going to live my dream.
For years, scientists have explored remote corners of the Earth, searching for exotic substances that might help prevent cancer. At last, man has discovered a secret place where powerful remedies can actually be found. Medical research shows that a vegetarian diet, rich in fruits, vegetables and whole grains, can help prevent many types of cancer. Wherever you live, cancer prevention is as close as your grocery store. To learn more, call 866-906-WELL.
Welcome back to Science Ball. Hope you had a good time at home. We started slowly, but boy, did we pick up. And these young people really acquitted themselves well, came up with some really tough answers to some very tough questions. Our final tally today is Dodge Park 160, Carole Highlands 195. We've waited many years to see you guys, and we're going to see you back. Lewis and Shamar and David, let's see some smiles over there. You can relax for a few moments and look at all of the alternates back there. Akene and Jalen and Rima and Mr. Allen and Ms. Tuzo, congratulations to you. And Dodge Park, let me see some big smiles over there. You guys really gave it your best shot here today. Jamal and Steve and Sarai, good to have you here. Ms. Barbour, Mr. Burns, this year's one of our Teachers of the Month. And Ms. Barbour, you are a Teacher of the Month all the time in our eyes. And the alternates over there, Jonathan and Purnell and Laselli, congratulations. Thank you for being part of the team. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. Bye-bye.